Hey there, it's Wendy from Worldwide Speak. How you doing? Today I am going to talk about a classification paragraph, and this is geared towards the English language learner who is just beginning their writing journey in English, but of course it's open to everybody who wants to learn about a classification paragraph. What's really cool about this video is that it came from one of my subscribers. They asked me to do this video for them. So that's the great thing about subscribing to our channel, is that when you ask us for content that might not already be on our channel, we can create it specifically for you. Okay, let's get started. All right, what is classification? This means that we put things into types or kinds or categories or groups according to one single basis of division. All right, what does that really mean? Let me give you an example to clarify. So let's say we're talking about texting, and people who text are texters, right? So we could classify this one big group, texters, into three types or kinds or categories. For example, we can have people who text a word or two, people who text a normal amount, and then you could have people who really should write an email instead of texting. We all know people like that. So then, now that you know what classification is, what is a classification paragraph? Well, its purpose is to show the reader that a certain topic or a certain group can be categorized into different groups, and to show the reader what those groups look like and how they're different. So now that you know what a classification paragraph's purpose is, why don't we take a look at the structure? Okay, so here is just a very general outline of what the structure of a classification paragraph looks like. So we have the topic sentence, and then we explain the first type, we give some details, we explain the second type, we give some details, we explain the third type, we give some details, and then we have a concluding sentence. Now, you probably want to have at least three groups that you're talking about, and for sure you want to have a couple of details that clearly explains what each of these groups looks like. And when we're starting out with our topic sentence, remember, I have a video on how to write a strong topic sentence if you need to review, but it has the topic, and that's what you're talking about, and then the controlling idea, which focuses your topic. So here you want to talk about your topic, and then you want to control that topic by explaining to the reader that there are different types or different categories of this topic. Let me show you what this looks like with an example. I find that always makes things a lot more clear. So let's say I had the topic sentence, people who text can be categorized into three different groups. Well, what's my topic? People who text. What's my controlling idea? That there are three different groups. So the reader knows, oh, this writer is going to show me with words three different kinds of texters or people who text, right? The people who text is our topic, and the controlling idea is that there are three different groups. Let's look at another example. So this one reads, texters can be divided into those that barely text, those who text an average amount, and those who should have written an email. Our topic are texters, and then as you can see right there, then our controlling idea actually specifically states the three type of different texters. So that's your controlling idea. It's more specific And so the reader knows exactly what they're going to get in your paragraph. Also, let me add that I have it's actually three words that in boldface in that darker print. And in the first thesis example, it's the word categorized. That's specific language that you want to use in a classification paragraph. And then in the second topic sentence example, I use the phrase divided into. So that's another phrase you can use, more words that are specific to writing a classification paragraph or essay. So you might want to just make a little note of that. Okay, moving on. So we have our topic sentence. Texters can be divided into those that barely text back, those that text an average amount, and those that should have written an email. That's the topic sentence we're going to go with for this paragraph. So the next thing you need to do is you need to tell the reader that you're going to talk about the first type of this topic, which are texters. And some transitions that we can use are the first type, the first kind, the first category, and then you can also use that with your subsequent or your other types. You can use the second type or the third type or the last category. So let me give you an example here. It's the first type of texter barely types anything back except a word or two, or sometimes not even that. So now you have shown your reader that there is this first type of texter you're going to focus on, and then we're going to follow that up with detail to show the reader exactly what this looks like. Okay, so we have our sentence that introduces the first type of texter here. Now, let's talk about the details. These are super important. This is where you paint the picture with words so that your reader can visually understand what you're telling them through the writing in your paper. So what would this look like? It could look something like this. For instance, after you have just texted them a question that requires some sort of answer, all you get is okay or K. Or let's say you text them about your plans for the night, which include trying a new restaurant and then going to see their favorite band, only to get good or a thumbs up emoji. So you can see that after I introduce the first type, I follow it up with a couple of sentences that explain exactly what I'm talking about in great detail so that my reader can really see or imagine what I'm trying to explain. Lastly, let's talk about this concluding sentence. I also have a video on concluding sentence if you need to review that as well. But moving on, the concluding sentence reminds the reader about the topic sentence and then keeps them thinking about your paragraph. You really want to make an impression on your reader. You want your paper, your paragraph, or whatever you write to be interesting and to be thoughtful and to stay with your reader. So how would we do this? Remember what our topic sentence was? It was this one right here in blue. Texters can be divided into those that barely text back, those that text an average amount, and those that should have written an email. Now I need to say the same thing and keep the same idea, but I need to use different words, and I need to keep my reader thinking about my writing. Let's see, how are we going to do this? What if we wrote something like this? In sum, and you can see I started with that transition in sum, it is clear to see how we text is not the same for everyone. And even though they are just words on the screen, the way you text can say a lot about who you are. So you can see that I've talked about the fact that people text. That's our topic. I've talked about the fact that there are different types of texters. And then I've kind of left a little opinion or thought for the reader to think about that, maybe your personality can still come out even though you're just typing into your phone. So you can see here that I've taken the time to write out a classification paragraph for you. I'm not going to read this out loud, but this is where you might want to push pause on the video. Take your time, read the paragraph in its entirety, and then push play when you're ready to pick up again. Okay, thanks for taking the time to read the paragraph. Now, why do I have the paragraph like this? It's so I can show you the structure of what it looks like when it's completely written out. And it's going to help if I change the paragraph to the colors that correspond or that match the type of sentence you need in this paragraph. So you can see the topic sentence is blue, the type or types are in green, your details are in orange, and your concluding sentence is in red. Now, I have found that when I do this for my students, it really helps to show them what the structure of this or other types of paragraphs look like and exactly what you need to put in the paragraph in order for it to be clear and strong and for your reader to be able to follow your writing and not stop because it's confusing. So hopefully this helps you. Remember to subscribe and keep writing in English. You can do this.